You are watching AliAziz YouTube channel.
Write follow-up interview letter, sample template, for fresh and experienced candidates. AliAziz Quality Education channel providing you the job best interview related videos, so don't forget the subscription button. You may need to write a follow-up letter after submitting a job application or after a job interview. Among the major reasons of writing a follow-up letter after an interview include showing appreciation that the given employer was interested in you, reiterating your interest in the job position, emphasizing on your qualifications, and providing information that the employer may ask. It is, therefore, important to identify the reasons why you need to write a follow-up letter, since this will determine the content. This can be as simple as writing a small thank you note which should be sent shortly after the interview. Sometimes a thank you message is so important that some employers barely consider applications of those who fail to send such. When should you write a follow-up letter? If you are simply writing a thank you note, it is wise to send this within 48 hours of attending the interview. In most cases, interviewers will provide a time frame within which to expect a response, and this calls for patience. If there's no feedback after the agreed time period, you can now write a follow-up letter to inquire on the results, but ensure that you use some polite language. Before you even start writing a follow-up letter, you need to decide whether this should be handwritten, a hard copy, or an email. A hard copy is formal, but a handwritten is more personal. An email should be done as a supplement to a hard copy or a handwritten follow-up letter. However, you need to consider your prospective employer's preference or how you have been contacting each other. Things to include in the follow-up letter. You should start with a professional header that should include your name, physical address, city, state, zip code, and your phone or email address. The date should follow like an inch below. After this, leave some space and then list the recipient's details that should include the name, position held, name of the company/organization, physical address, city, state, and zip code. Address the recipient using his or her last name, for example, Dear Mr. Moore, and you will now be set to start the first paragraph. This should include a brief thank you note and provide a recap of the interview, specifying the date of the interview, venue, and the involved persons. The addressed person may not really remember your name, and providing such details will bring out a clearer picture. The second paragraph when writing a follow-up letter should reiterate why you still think that you are the most suited candidate for the vacant position. This is where you should detail things like your qualifications, past similar positions that you have held, and your achievements. Other related skills that you didn't mention during the interview should be outlined here. In the third paragraph, you should show your continued interest and provide contact details in case the prospective employer want to reach you. After this, leave some blank space and then use professional closing, whether best regards or sincerely. This should be followed by your signature and name. Take time to proofread. After writing follow-up letter, you should spare a couple of minutes to proofread it, where you can even have a friend go through it. Check for grammar, spelling mistakes, and typos, among other things. Where you have to mention certain people within the company, be sure to get their correct names and titles. Sample follow-up letter. Name, address, phone, email, date, name, company address, Dear Mr./Ms. name. Following an advertisement that your company placed in the Daily Times newspaper, I submitted an application letter together with my resume to be considered for the vacant position of operations manager. Up to date, no feedback has been provided. I would really appreciate some confirmation that you received my application, since I'm still interested in the job. For the last 8 years, I have held diverse positions in a number of companies and organizations where I've overseen the completion of numerous projects. At Dancom Constructors, I was the project leader in charge of all the construction works during the successful complex construction of the 2 Delta Towers, where all deadlines were strictly adhered. While working at Japper Engineering, I closely supervised the construction of Ambassador House, Times Towers, and Cooperative House, which are all iconic buildings in Eastern State. I also worked as an operations assistant manager at Deep Builders and as projects director at Unity Solutions. Generally, I have been to all corners of the construction industry, and I will be a real asset providing first-class ideas and solutions. All this experience combined with my rich education background makes me the perfect match for the operations manager position in your company. My bosses and workmates have always considered me as a dependable, loyal, hard-working, and disciplined employee with good interrelational and excellent communication skills. I will, therefore, provide immense contribution for the success of ABC Construction Company. I am looking forward to meeting you for further discussions on this. If you require more details or clarification on anything, feel free to reach me on 111-1111. Sincerely. Signature. Name.